Okay, so the last video talked about how to use the box method which is very similar to the area model, to figure out how to divide some numbers. Well, now I'm going to show you the standard algorithm. Okay, so if you remember from a few videos ago, I had told you that the dividend, this is the divisor, and the answer is the quotient. Well, just like that box method, the dividend goes inside the box. Well, we're just going to call it a half box. We're not going to go all the way to the box. Okay. So we're going to do 294 divided by 6. Now, this looks a lot similar to the box method. We just don't have those lines. So we're going to try to use our head and use imaginary lines. So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to see 6. Can 6 go into 2? No, it cannot go into 2. So I'm going to have to look at the 9 and add it to and make the 2 and 9 together to look at 29. Can 6 go into 29? Yeah, probably. Well, I immediately know 6 times 5 is 30. Well, that's too much, right? Too much. So I have to think, okay. Well, 6 times 4 is 24. So I'm going to do that. But look where I am. I'm in the tens place. So you don't have to put a 0 here, but for now we're going to. 6 goes into 2 0 times. I can't do that, right? So is 0. So if I were to do that, 6 times 0 is 0. So 0. Okay, that's 2. I bring down my 9. 6 goes into 29 4 times. 6 times 4, remember we're multiplying, or 4 times 6 is 24. Subtracting. 29 minus 4 is 5. Bring down my 4. 6 goes into 54. Well, let's see. 9 times. 9 times 6 is 54. So 9 times 6 is 54. And that leaves me with 0 remainder. So my answer is 49. Okay. So instead of bringing this number over here, we're just bringing this number down. Okay. All right. Let's try another one. The only way we'll get better is practice. Okay. So 872 divided by 4. Well, I got to set up my problem. So I'm going to do 872 as the dividend divided by 4. And now I'm going to work it out. Okay, let's see. 4 goes into 8 2 times. You got to know your multiplication facts. 2 times 4 is 8. So I'm going to subtract 8. That leaves me 0. So now I've got to bring down my 7. Now, how many times does 4 go into 7? Well, 4 times 2 is 8. So it looks like only one time. 1 times 4 is 4. So I'm going to subtract 4. That leaves me with 3. Now I'm going to bring down my 2. It's 32. What times 4 gives me 32? 8. 8 times 4 is 32. And that leaves me with 0 remainder. Very similar to the box method. Let's try one more problem. Okay, so we have 517 divided by 8. I'm going to set up my model. 517 divided by 8. So let's look at this. Can 8 go into 5? Nope. So I'm going to just put a 0 there. So 0 times 8 is 0. So I'm going to put my 5, bring down my 1. 8 to 51. Well, if I know my multiplication facts, I'm going through my head of the 8 times tables. So I know 8 times 5 is 40, plus 8 more is 48. So that's 8 times 6 is 48. And 49, 49, 50, 51. That's only 3 more. So it looks like 6 is the max amount of times that 8 can go into 51 without going over. So 6 times 8 is 48. Well, 51 minus 48, borrow. So that makes it 11. So 11 minus 8 is 3. Bring down my 7. Well, 8 times 5 I know is 40. But 40 goes over 37. So 8 times 4 is 32. Well, that looks like that's under 37. It's pretty close. So 4 times 8 is 32. And that leaves me with 5. Well, that's 8 cannot go into 5. So that's going to be my remainder. So I have a remainder of 5. So my answer is 64, remainder 5. The remainder is what you have left over that you cannot divide 8 into, or whatever the divisor is. If you can't divide it into the last number and there are no more numbers to bring down, you have to do that remainder.